Charbonnet, hit at the goal line. He gets pushed into the end zone. The Seahawks take a 14-3 lead.
He drops back, now throws it deep left side end zone. Harrison goes up for a touchdown. In prayer, saying thank you. Throw to the left, Pati Mercado 5, breaks a tackle, touchdown. We are tied with 28 seconds left.
A couple of completions can get you into field goal range. Arnold throws back shoulder. It's JSN inside the Arizona 40. 52-yarder. And the kick is good! And the Seahawks win the game!
First Take is presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
Buckle up because these 2 hours are going to fly by. Ryan Clark's right here, Stephen A. Smith right there. Cam Newton set to join us in just a little bit. Combatants, are we ready?
Sure. We're not combatants, right? Because look how he dressed today. He didn't even come to really work today.
I always come to work, but I slipped up with the wardrobe. I got to travel and I slipped up and I went like this. I walked into it and I said, damn, I forgot RC's going to be in today. What was I thinking? Oh, I know he's going to get me.
You got a happy hour outfit on.
It's true.
He could be trying to lull you into a false sense of security.
No, I know he's ready to work.
False sense of confidence. He's ready to work. We're ready to work. We got a great weekend of football to get into, but first, we start from the tight one we had last night in the desert. Seahawks came in with a 7-game winning streak against the Cards, and it was trending toward 8 before Kyler Murray and the crew scored 2 touchdowns in the last 6 minutes of the game to pull even. However, Arizona's kickoff attempt landed short of the landing zone, giving Seattle great field position that sealed their win with a game-winning field goal as time expired. The Seahawks have been dominant on the road. Last night was their 8th straight road win dating back to last season, extending the longest road streak in franchise history. This streak also the longest active road streak in the NFL. We begin right here. RC, this Seahawks team, they legit contenders in the NFC West?
Absolutely. And now we know who the normal suspects are, right? The Detroits, the Packers, the Eagles, the Bucks. You talk about those teams, the Rams, the Seattle Seahawks are right in that bunch. Aside from us watching Nick Bosa make a huge play to stop a drive that was going to win the game in week 1. This team should be undefeated. Then you go to Pittsburgh, you get a huge win on the road. You find a way to come back home and blow out the New Orleans Saints, which we expect. But even in the struggle last night, you get a win on the road on a Thursday night game. There's a touchdown that's taken off of the board on a holding on JSN for Charbonnet. This game's not even supposed to be close. Mike McDonald, absolute coaching star. This defense, even shorthanded, without rookie Nick Emenwari, last week without Julian Love, without Devin Weatherspoon, still making plays, still finding twos, taking people off the street that can come in and perform. With the run game, JSN as a number 1, and Sam Darnold, who has absolutely revitalized his career, this team is an absolute contender. Now, but the question is going to be, how do they continue to grow? Because if they don't find a true number 2, I think that's where the trouble comes in.
Hold on for a second. Far be it for me to be a little contrarian here, but let me add.
Far be it for you to be yourself.
That's right. That's right. See, that would be me. Right. Here's my thing. We have to define. Listen. Do I think they're a contender? Yes. I mean, their defense is top 5. I think we got to acknowledge that. These brothers can play some defense, no doubt about that. Even though Witherspoon got burnt on by Marvin Harrison Jr., we understand that can happen. The brother still can ball. He's big time. We get where he's coming from. Offensively, when Kenneth Walker's healthy, we know what he can bring to the table. When Jigba, this brother's nice, no doubt about it. Second leading receiver in the NFL behind Puka Nacua. So we got to pay attention to that as well. Here's what I would say to you. When I'm looking at the elite of the NFC, it starts with Philadelphia. Detroit is letting us know they're right there. Even though that hiccup happened in Cleveland with Green Bay, they're right there. And then we come to Seattle because we have to look at Sam Darnold. Now, which Sam Darnold do you want me to look at, RC? Do you want me to look at the Sam Darnold? By the way, last night, 7th game-winning drive over the last 2 years. 5 with the Vikings last year, 2 already with the Seattle Seahawks this year. Do you want me to look at the brother that led the Vikings to a 14-2 record? All right? 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, throwing over 4,300 yards last year. Do you want me to look at that dude? Or do you want me to look at the dude that, you know what, wet the bed those last 2 games? Season finale with the division crown on the line and the number 1 seed on the line. They lost to Detroit last year, and then they ended up going to the playoffs and getting smacked out of there too. Do you want me to look at that guy, or do you want me to look at the guy for the first 16 games who's reminding us of that dude thus far as a Seattle Seahawks? Because as the season wanes, okay, then I got to look and say, how much am I supposed to believe in this brother when I'm thinking about Philly, Detroit, Green Bay, Tampa Bay? I got to look at these cats. I even got to look at Minnesota because you're going to have to play against Brian Flores' defense. I got to look at these things.
Also, too, you got to think about those last 2 games. Brian Flores' defense wasn't what it was early on in the season.
That's true. That's
right?
true.
When you're playing against Detroit, when you're playing against Rams, Goff had a day. Matthew Stafford had a day. And so I don't necessarily know if those things say that Sam Darnold can't do it in the moment.
Your mic is out right now. You are saying beautiful things that the entire country is unable to hear at the moment.
But let me.
It's not an invitation to get back in.
It's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it absolutely is an invitation to get back in. I got to capitalize on this moment while RC's mic is not working properly because he can't hit back. That dude, Sam Darnold's going to have to end up going up against these cats, okay? We were talking about San Francisco. That's right. Take your time with his mic. Take your time with his mic. You got to sit up there and look at that stuff. All I'm trying to say is, what Sam Darnold do I look at? What Sam Darnold do I defer to?
You look at the microphone. Can y'all hear me now?
You look at this.
Oh, I like this.
7:30 show, completely different than the 9:30
you are now
show.
on Smooth Grooves with RC, Joe, and Stephen A.
There we go.
So, but the thing to me is this, though. We can't say what Sam Darnold's going to do the next time. Right. What we know is what Sam Darnold's doing now. We know the drive that he had to maneuver through in Pittsburgh. We know the drive that we had to watch last night. He had driven them down the drive before as well. There was a missed field goal that put them in the position that they were in. It's not to say that I take Sam Darnold over Baker, or I take him over Jalen, or I take him over Jared Goff. But this is about team. This is about a team that's continuing to grow. This is about Mike McDonald in his second year, who we aren't talking about enough. Who took over an organization, who got rid of a Geno Smith, who taken over for Pete Carroll, who's a legend there, who's a Super Bowl winner, and has already turned this team around, put them in a position that they weren't in Pete Carroll's last year. I believe that this team is one of those teams you aren't going to want to play late in the season.
I would challenge, and I'm going to win this argument because I would challenge RC on this. You know what? We can't, really predict and forecast what Sam Darnold's going to do. Well, if anybody's qualified to do that, it's RC. RC know how to do that. RC does that all the time. I mean, it don't matter what NFL team you play. RC does it all the time. Am I lying, Joe Fortenbaugh? He does it all the time. He'll sit up there and say, yo, that dude ain't ready. Nope, that team ain't cut. I mean, didn't he tell us the Miami Dolphins were finished? Did you say that? You said it was finished after week 3. Yes, you did. So that's forecasted. We still got 14 games to go. You said the hell with football in South Beach. They don't have a chance. That's what you said. You talked about Patrick Mahomes. And look, they ain't what they were. They still got a chance, but they ain't what they were, and they ain't going to be that way. That's what you said. Justin Herbert, you talked about how great he was, okay? So I'm sure you forecast all the time.
We're talking about one man. You're talking about one man.
We forecast all the time, and now you're saying we can't forecast. Yes, you can. You're more qualified.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Could you have forecast that Baker Mayfield would be the clutch quarterback he is now, that Baker Mayfield would be an MVP candidate based on what you saw at the end of Cleveland?
Absolutely not. You're absolutely right about that. But once I saw him do it over a period of a season and then 2 seasons, now I can forecast that brother could deliver in the clutch. That brother with Evans and Godwin and Ibuka, they could do something. I can forecast that, and it's just little old me. I ain't RC.
We're talking about because you're ignoring growth. You're ignoring growth. You're ignoring watching Sam Darnold grow not only in his execution but in his confidence.
Okay.
Right? In a position where if I'm the Seattle Seahawks right now, and I'm down late, or the score is tied late, I believe in my quarterback. I'm not thinking about who Sam Darnold was with the Jets. What did you learn from the last game against the Detroit Lions? What have you learned from what the wild card on the road can look like? Okay. And then you see him in Arizona show up. You see him in Pittsburgh show up. You saw him show up late in the game against San Francisco in week 1.
But I'm specifically
look what's happening.
That there's a season wane. See, these are early games. That's my point with you. These are early games. I get to moments that you're talking about. I'm talking about
today, Stephen A.
Okay, well, today, give him all the love in the world. Give him all the love in the world. You want to shower in flowers? That's what you want to do?
You know what you like?
With roses?
Hey, Stephen A.
What's up?
If you showering this woman with gifts,
Oh, there we
right?
go with the relationship.
You're taking her on dates.
You got to bring the voice
right?
down a little bit.
You're taking her on dates.
You got
feel
to
me?
smooth it.
You're taking her on
Yeah,
dates.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, bro.
You're showing up. She got a chauffeur.
Yeah.
Right? You got roses, right?
Bow,
You
bow,
shut
bow,
you
bow,
shut
that's
you
me.
shut the
That's about
you shut the
bow,
entire
bow,
restaurant
bow,
down. Right? You
I've done that once.
right. Yeah, you've done that, right?
Yeah,
And you've been doing this all along.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the meal, she asks you, "So what are we?" Now you mad. Because you like,
No, I'm not
I did
mad.
all of this for you in the present,
No, I'm not mad.
and you worried about the future?
I'm not mad. I'm a little flustered. Because I know I get to answer that question. I'm not mad, but I'm flustered. Yes, I mean, I'm a little, I gotta have the right answer if I'm gonna have the evening end the way I want it to end. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? And I said that's the answer.
Next question, Joe.
Nicely done with Sam Darnold. It makes me a little queasy, the 53% completions in those final two games
right.
last year, like the San Francisco game. But
Yep.
he's off to the right start. He looked great in that offense last night.
Yeah.
The other side,
Joe, don't become a hater.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Have the Cardinals hit the ceiling with what Murray can do as their starting quarterback?
I don't know. What I will say is that he's been in the league long enough where you haven't had a single playoff win. We got to pay attention to that. We got to pay attention to the fact that you're costing the team about $43 million. We got to pay attention to the fact that, he was sacked 6 times last night, so he was under constant pressure. But, he wasn't great for the better part of 3.5 quarters, to be quite honest with you. It wasn't just Marvin Harrison Sr. That was struggling. It was him. And so we have to look at it from that standpoint. I could say you could go back to the developmental process, him playing under Cliff Kingsbury all of those years, and how much did that really, really work out for him. I believe in Kyler Murray as a talent. I think we've seen him step up in the way that he stepped up with those 2 touchdown drives to tie the game. 2020 after being down 26, he deserves a lot of credit for that. But the level of consistency has been lacking. And when you look at it from that standpoint and you see the ascension of other quarterbacks in this league, you do have to take a look at it. Is it him? Is it the coaching? Is it the system? You're better equipped to answer that than me, of course, but I will tell you that it does give you cause to pull.
Let me throw something at you because you played, and this is what stands out and terrifies me when it comes to Kyler Murray. He's now 8-23 against the NFC West.
Yeah.
8-23.
That's
those
bad.
are the guys.
You got to be able to win within your division.
Those guys know you the most. It feels like that number tells me that they have figured him out.
Yeah, and so we always talk about our W's and L's, quarterback stats.
Gotcha.
I think in a lot of ways, when you look at the way a quarterback can elevate a team, they become quarterback stats. Here's what I think about Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. I don't believe Kyler Murray has reached his ceiling, but I believe the Arizona Cardinals have reached their ceiling with Kyler Murray. Right? I believe there's another place where Kyler Murray's talents, where some of the intangible things that he can do, some of the things that he can do from a measurable standpoint with arm talent, with the way he can maneuver the pocket, the way he can scramble, I think that can help a team built differently than this team win. But we also have to get back to who Cliff Kingsbury was as a coach. There was no evolution of what Cliff Kingsbury wanted to do from an offensive standpoint. There was no next step of what Cliff Kingsbury was with Kyler Murray. And now that Monty Ossenfort has become the GM, you go out and you get Marvin Harrison Jr., you do add a Trey McBride. What we saw last night was the first night without their best offensive player, in my opinion, who is James Conner. And then Kyler Murray still found ways to make plays in important moments, and to put that loss on him, to me, would be disingenuous from us. And so I do believe that Kyler Murray is a winning quarterback in this league. I just don't know if the Arizona Cardinals are the place for him to win big.
Actually, you do know. It's not the place. He needs to go elsewhere. We all know. I mean, come on now. Yeah, that's what you're saying. You're saying that Kyler Murray's fine. He just needs to get the hell out of Arizona. That's what you're saying. And you know what? 14 different dudes for Seattle pressuring him last night. 14 different dudes. You understand? If you're Arizona, how much are you protecting him? How much are you insulating him? How much are you doing to assist in his ascension, his elevation? That's a legitimate question, because we've been asking the same question for years, which is why the answer is Kyler Murray needs to get the hell out of Arizona, because that ain't going to be the place for him.
They just tried to give him a top 5 wide receiver with Marvin Harrison.
I understand that.
They're trying to help him out.
They're trying, but they may not be very gifted at it.
But there's also
right need to do it.
There's also no way to watch that game last night and say that the interception to Kobe Bryant is Kyler Murray's fault.
Yeah.
Right.
Or to say that the interception in the middle of the field is Kyler Murray's fault.
True.
And I think when you're watching those things,
right
like that's the way we have to evaluate at least what we saw last night, that sometimes you don't get it right. And that doesn't mean that Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't take what happened last night and figure out, you know what? I'm a 50-50 ball catcher. I'm a guy who can make catches in contested situations. Now let's use him in that manner. And so I do believe that both Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. have an opportunity to grow. This team doesn't have an opportunity to win.
One thing that I will point to is this. This guy can beat you with his legs. So for him to be under that kind of constant pressure makes me look at the team more so than him. Because for him to be pressured that much, to be put under that much duress, credit to Seattle, please don't get me wrong, but because of his mobility, his gifts in that regard, you should be able to game plan in a scheme in a fashion that protects him better than I'm seeing him protected.
Good appetizer.
Also,
We got to get to the entree here.
Yeah. Minnesota, if Kyler Murray's in Minnesota, Minnesota's an NFC championship team.
Yes.
Period.
I agree.
And I think you got to look at those different spots for Kyler Murray.
All right, now you ready to eat? That's the appetizer. You ready to eat? Let's get to the reunion everyone is talking about. Micah Parsons returns to Dallas Sunday. Cowboys offseason gave us all the Dallas headlines Jerry can muster, culminating in the trade of the star pass rusher. In that wake, the Cowboys try to turn the page. Dak Prescott was asked if Sunday's game will bring closure to this saga. Take a listen.
You got to ask Jerry and Micah. To me, the closure happened when the trade happened. As I said, to me now it's just be fun to play against a friend, a great competitor, somebody who I know wants to sack me. So it'll be fun. That's up to those guys.
Nice and loose. Everybody's having fun. Seems like they're ready.
Yeah,
for
it's
the
easy to
game
do on a
this
Friday.
Week.
Thursday, Friday. Let's see how he's looking Sunday night.
Is this game?
Let's see that done.
Do you see the game bringing closure?
I don't. Closure is not the word that comes to my mind. And he's right when he says we have no choice. I mean, it is what it is. You know what the situation is. But at some point in life, you reflect on what might have been. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys, don't tell me you're not going to do that if Micah Parsons continues to be the stud that we know him to be, and if Green Bay ends up enjoying a level of success we anticipate. What if Green Bay goes out there and wins the Super Bowl championship this year? What if Micah Parsons is a monster while en route to them pulling that off? You can't tell me that as a member of the Dallas Cowboys, you're not going to look at that and think about what might have been. And I think that if you're Dak Prescott, it should resonate even more fiercely. You can't get everything you want, I understand that. But when you're the face, when you're the highest paid dude, you got to speak up. And listen, I troll the Cowboy fans, but it's all in fun. It really, really is. I take pictures with these folks. I let them troll me. I go to restaurants when I'm in Dallas. I take the, it's all fun. It really, really is. And I know that Dak Prescott can ball. Dak Prescott is not a scrub. The brother can ball and whatever. But I swear to you, one of the things that I'm very serious and not playing about is that it's one thing to say the right things. Sometimes, you know what, it ain't about that. Sometimes it's about making sure your voice is heard, even if the outcome isn't what you want it to be. And I would have liked to have seen him speak up more before Micah Parsons ended up departing, to make sure you're the highest paid guy, you're the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. I would have liked to have seen him in front of the camera one time, looking into the camera. Jerry, we don't need to lose this brother. Jerry, this man is that valuable to us. I would have liked to have seen that. It's not a crime that I didn't see it, but I would have liked to have seen it.
Dak Prescott is the only adult in leadership in Dallas.
Okay.
This isn't going to bring closure because Jerry Jones doesn't want closure. You know what Jerry Jones wants every time Micah Parsons plays against Jerry Jones? For us to talk about the fact that the Dallas Cowboys have to play Micah Parsons again. And there's a saying, right? That comparison is the thief of joy. It's also the giver of joy when the person you want to see doing bad is doing bad. This ain't going to ever be over for Micah Parsons. If Micah Parsons wins a Defensive Player of the Year, that's on Dallas. He's going to say something about Dallas. We're going to say something about Dallas. If Micah Parsons is holding the Lombardi Trophy at the end of any season and he's a big factor in it, we're going to talk about Dallas. Micah Parsons is forever connected to Dallas. And for Dak, there's closure because Dak got his money. was the highest paid quarterback in the league when he signed his deal. Dak was a guy that played on the franchise tag. Dak had no reason to speak out and say we want Micah because Dak knows who Micah was dealing with. Jerry Jones would rather be right in his own mind than win football games. Jerry Jones would rather be talked about than win football games. It is no secret to why this team hasn't won a Super Bowl. It's because its owner has made bad decisions about who they retain, how they retain them. Will McClay is responsible for drafting Micah Parsons. Jerry Jones is responsible for letting Micah Parsons go. There will be no closure on this until that man gets a gold jacket. And even then, Stephen A., Joe, RC are going to bring up the Dallas Cowboys because they were smart when they drafted him, but they was dumb when they let him go.
Let me tell you something. Nobody's in a position to disagree with what you just said. And I got a love for Jerry Jones, but you're right because it's one bad move after another, and I think that letting go of Micah Parsons was a horrific move. And thinking that 2 late first-round picks and Kenny Clark is going to cut it is just even more ridiculous. Having said that, I'm still going to harken back to Dak Prescott because this ain't boxing. This ain't the UFC. This ain't tennis. This ain't golf. I know that it takes a team to prepare you to be elite, but in the end, you the one that's got to be in the ring. Floyd Money Mayweather used to tell me that all the time. I'm the one that's got to be in that square circle. I'm the one that's got to be up in there, okay? They ain't getting hit. It's me. I got it. Dak Prescott, anybody that needs a team, when you know you need a team to win, and such a valuable component to that team, such a pivotal component to that team is on the verge of departing, you got to speak up.
So tell me this.
You got to speak up.
Tell me this. In Dallas, when has there been a player's voice that we've counted on for information? A player's voice that we've counted on that we've counted on for direction in that team. And you could think back. You could think back. Win. But even when it was Michael Irvin, it was fun and they were winning and it was excitement and he was one of those.
When they were losing, right, Michael Irvin, you knew where he stood and how he felt.
Right? Like you think back to the protest, right? Mm-hmm. Think back to the protest. There was no players in Dallas that stood up.
Yeah.
There were no players in Dallas that said, no, we aren't going to do this, or no, we are going to stay in this way. Right. Why? Because Jerry Jones said the way this thing going to happen in my locker room is going to happen the way I want it to happen.
He did say that, but that doesn't mean you have to capitulate to it, particularly when you got a guaranteed contract and you're the face and the star of the team. Like, again, I'm not saying just anybody. I didn't sit up there and say just anybody should come out there. I'm talking about Dak Prescott here. I'm talking about who's got his contract. He don't have to be worried. He don't have to worry about being shipped out. You could have looked Jerry Jones in the face. You could have looked into the face of the cameras. We do not need to lose Micah Parsons. I don't give a damn what we got to do. Joe Burrow came on national television and said, we need Jamar Chase. We need T. Higgins. We need Trey Hendrickson. Now, you might not have gotten all three, but we knew for sure Jamar Chase wasn't going nowhere. We knew that was the one person that wasn't going anywhere because Joe Burrow wasn't having it.
But Joe Burrow's dealing with the Browns. He ain't dealing with the Joneses.
I understand that.
It's just different. Joe Burrow is more important than anybody in that building.
Right.
No football player is more important than Jerry Jones in the building in Dallas.
And I'm saying it's partially that way. Yes, mostly because of Jerry, but partially because you're a player, you're a star, you allow it. And I'm saying to you, listen, I'm just going to put myself on Front Street. If I'm the star quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons is my teammate and all of these stories are like, yo, he's getting up out of here. Nah, Jerry. Yo, Jerry, we got to talk. Yo, y'all, I see y'all later. I'm like, we got to talk.
The one player that had a voice and that was gaining his own voice and his own brand is now in Green Bay. He was the only one we ever listened to from there.
You want to talk about closure?
Dak more so than Jerry. Yeah. My point.
Boston didn't get closure on that Babe Ruth trade for 86 years. If Dallas wants any sort of closure, you're going to have to go out and win something.
I ain't going to compare Micah to Babe Ruth. I ain't going to go that far.
He's on.